Today, we're going to talk about rubrics, another important formative assessment or assessment for learning tool. Rubrics have the power to provide clear assessment criteria and learning expectations. Research tells us that having a clear learning expectation has a powerful effect on students' learning. And rubrics are one way of making this intention clear. You might in fact be adept at using rubrics. You might even be part of a teaching team that uses them to assess entire units of work. Maybe you've used holistic rubrics. These are rubrics that provide performance level behaviour for a set of criteria. Levels in these rubrics are often assigned a grade, but they tend to be more summative than formative. You may use analytic rubrics. An analytic rubric breaks down the characteristics of a learning task into parts, itemizing and defining exactly what aspects are strong and which ones may need improvement. This requires development of multiple criteria across 3 to 5 levels of achievement. The challenge with most rubrics though is that they're time consuming to create. Valuable in their own way of course, but require a lot of work to break down all of the different skills and components. But we like single point rubrics. They're flexible, explicit, and they provide a great way to give feedback. Single point rubrics only require a detailed explanation of the target learning outcome, behaviour, or knowledge. They provide a description of exactly what it is students need to learn. By using single point rubrics, we're no longer trying to describe what happens at every level of the rubric. We're just looking for the language that describes exactly what our learners are expected to learn. A single point rubric has 3 columns. Target learning behaviours go in the middle column. You'll see that each criteria is explicit, and that there's only one on each line of the rubric. As these learning behaviours are achieved, they can be marked off or highlighted. Some people choose to describe this as a success criteria process, and it certainly can be seen that way. The column on the left-hand side of the rubric is left blank and is usually labelled something like "to be improved." The teacher works with the student to record notes about what they need to do to achieve the required level. The column on the right-hand side of the rubric is usually titled "above expectations." It's also left blank, and it's used to record the student's display of advanced behaviours. Over time, you'll potentially collect quite a few completed rubric sheets. You could collect them, keep them in a folder, and use them for parent interviews or summative assessment. Ideally though, you'll come up with a way with your students to manage the completed rubrics, accounting for your need to access them for reporting and their need to access them to demonstrate their learning. We've seen teachers that require students to take a photo of their completed rubric and write blog posts about their learning. We have a whole video about why blogging is useful for students. Check it out over here. Other teachers simply have a folder or a scrapbook where students can keep their completed rubrics. However you decide to keep them, they are a great source of information for progress over time, and they'll be a useful reference point for your students to see what they have learned and achieved. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up below, and if you think you might like to see more great free content from us, hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching, you'll see me next time.